think the take is okay as far as what the committee has. I mean, I think Georgia 1, they love Alabama at 2, Oregon 3, Ohio State 4, Cincinnati 5. I'm okay. I think like most, were really outraged by I believe it's 7-8.
Mm-hmm.
They have Michigan over Michigan State, and this is coming less than 2 weeks after Michigan State beat Michigan. They have the same record in the loss column, so how can the school that lost be ahead of the school that beat them? Not really sure of that. Can you help me make it make sense, brother?
I wish I could, because it doesn't make any sense. And to me, the thing that really will play out here, we won't even have to worry about these in a couple of weeks, because, number one, Michigan will lose again because they're playing Ohio State. And what does Michigan do? They lose to Ohio State. That's consistently been the case under Jim Harbaugh. Number two, we're all screaming and yelling about Cincinnati, and I get it. They've got a tough lot, that they're undefeated and they're such a good team and they beat Notre Dame and all that, but they're not in the top 4, and what an outrage. Let me just ask this question, and it always comes up for me when it comes to this kind of outside the Big Five conferences, Power Five conferences team. If they were in a Power Five conference, would they be undefeated right now? The answer to me is no. I don't think they would. And that's why I don't expect Cincinnati, while they might make it up there considering who they have left on their schedule, they might get into the top 4. I would expect them, if they got into the top 4, to actually get beat up pretty good by one of the Power 5 teams. It may be an outrage to a lot of people, but you got to go and prove it, and you can't prove it when you're playing Tulsa and you're beating them by a touchdown.
Yeah, we can talk about if.
Yeah.
If they were in the SEC, no, they probably wouldn't be undefeated, but they're not. And I think in a one-game scenario, which is what they really all want, they can compete. I'll take you back to last year's Peach Bowl, Cincinnati, Georgia. Same Georgia team, especially on defense, that they played against, they had them beat. And if it were not for a phantom personal foul, they beat Georgia. So in a one-game scenario, we've seen the little guy beat the big guy. We've seen UCF beat Auburn. We almost saw Cincinnati beat Auburn. So, and if I'm making the case for the little guy, which I often like to do, I think I would have to say that Cincinnati deserves some respect from you, Carlin, and I really, really, really wish you would give it to them.
I can't give it to them right now. I respect the fact that they went and beat Notre Dame. But be honest with me to this question. If you have a 2-loss Alabama team and everything else stays status quo, Georgia, Oregon, Ohio State all went out, is Cincinnati getting in?
Georgia, Oregon, Ohio State went out, and Cincinnati's undefeated?
Yep, and Alabama has 2 losses.
Yes, they're getting in.
I don't think they are.
Well, that's the difference between you and I. You think about the big guy, I think about the little guy.
I know, and I respect the little guy, but the little guy's plight is just that. It's a plight that they have to live with because they're not in a Power 5 conference. So, yes, they have to go and do things to prove themselves more than these other teams because that schedule just does not even match up remotely.
Yeah, listen, we can talk about the schedule not matching up. Here's the thing that I would say is that, yes, you're right, but college football is not remotely equal. The way we decide a champion is not even close to being what I would call fair. It's very subjective. So in a subjective world of college football, they deserve their opportunity if they go undefeated, but especially based on what they did last year. Because I think what you have is you have 13 people in a room. And they're humans. They have emotion. It's just like you. You got all ticked off when we talked about the French fry infused vodka. The emotion came out. So you don't think the emotion is going to come out in the room? There's some people in that room, Chris Carlin, that root for the little guy. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I can't wait to see them do that.
I love the underdog, too. But when it comes to the playoff, I want to see the 4 best teams that are involved. That's why, at the very least, Booger, we have to be talking about an 8-team or a 12-team expanded playoff here soon. Because at least in that way, it's more unlikely that the little guy is going to get hosed in that scenario.
Yeah, but I'm not in favor of the big playoff because I believe it should be hard to win a national championship. And that's coming from someone whose school has won 3 in the last, I don't know, 20 years, LSU. It should be hard. It should be. Don't give me this whole thing about we need to be inclusive. Okay, this is not the third grade. This is not, the soccer team at the YMCA where everybody has to have a turn at the goalie position. This is big boy college football. There are billions of dollars at stake, and it should be hard. They knew it was going to be hard when they created a 14 playoff and you had 5 power conferences. So for everyone whose school hasn't tasted the confetti, tough luck. Be better. It's really simple. Be better. And that may sound harsh. That may sound like a bit of an elitist coming from the SEC. I can assure you it's not. What it is really simple. It's someone who played the game, who understands how hard it is, who also knows that when you win it, it means something special. There have been 55 Super Bowls, Chris Carlin. I got two of the rings. Okay, it should be hard. It means more when it's hard. How much would it mean in a March Madness, or how much does it mean in a March Madness scenario when the number 15 seed makes the Final Four? When you absolutely buy into this Cinderella story, do you think it's really going to happen? Do you think that Loyola Marymount can win? Do you think that George Mason can win the title? No, but you think the story is good because we are people who want to thrive and deal with emotion. We love a good story. We love a good ending where we can cry and do all these different things, but I guarantee you sports is not like that, okay? Football is a bone-on-bone game, and usually in football, over the course of 60 minutes, when you hit somebody in the mouth for 3.5 hours, you find out who the better team is, and it should be hard. And if your team has not shown that they're worthy of being part of the top 4, then guess what? Be better next year.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.